When it comes to staying on top of your One Piece collection and investment, you need to be on top of what other people are buying and selling, which is why you clicked on today's video, because we've got a One Piece TCG Market Watch update where we take a look at what the recent sales have been over on eBay to see what people are buying and selling, so we can make an educated guess ourselves on what we should be buying as well. But before we get into it, guys, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more TCG content. And I also want to apologize for sounding a little off. I'm sick again, which is really frustrating. But hey, I'm getting better, so that's all that matters. But anyways, without any further ado, guys, let's get into it. So first of all, guys, I want to open up a pack. I recently just went out and got another OP15 sealed box for my collection because I only happened to get one because it was $320 for the first box. And I managed to get this for the regular price, so very happy about that. Let's open this pack, see what we get. Ooh, dang, look at this. Arlong, very nice. Cool, digging that. I have to say, I appreciate box topper packs like this because it's just an extra free card. I've had a couple of local game stores actually keep them from the public, so that's definitely a problem. But anyways, let's finally get into it. So it's 1:30 p.m. right now my time. It's April 6th, and somebody this morning bought a gold SP PSA 10 Blackbeard for $2,250 USD, which honestly, you know, not too bad. These cards are super sick, and I would personally say they are top grails to be chasing. This was from OP12. Not the best set, but the gold and silver Blackbeard cards definitely made it worthwhile. I also think the gold cards are awesome. But good luck getting that gold Luffy, okay? That's like a $10,000 card right there. Next up, we have got a PSA 10 PRBO1 Nami manga card selling for $3,500 USD. And guys, you're going to see some correlations with some of the cards we're looking at in today's video, which I think are going to be super interesting for you if you're trying to figure out what you want to buy and sell. We've also got a pop count of 2,628, and the majority of them are PSA 10s, which is a common theme. As we know, Bandai's print runs are really solid. A lot of their cards are great print quality. Next up, we've got the Bubble Zoro. This card has been a little controversial because it was probably one of the first super expensive SPs outside of the gold and silvers where people started getting a little frustrated from OP14. I'm kind of waiting for this card to come down. Not sure if it will. It did feel like it was market manipulated. The price just doesn't feel right. Obviously, the lower it goes, the better I'll feel about it, but things have changed too, by the way. I mean, the price of cards has changed. We are seeing a slight dip, but and it might be soon time to start buying your grails and stuff. But anyway, somebody bought this for $1,255 USD, so that's about $1,600 Canadian. I don't know. What are your thoughts on the Bubble Zoro? Moving on, we have got the SPNL card here, the PSA 10, selling for $320 USD. Guys, I'll be real with you. This card is beautiful. I always recommend people chase these SP cards. I mean, just look how gorgeous this card looks. Compared to so many other cards, even the manga cards themselves don't have this type of reflection, this type of texturing. There is a texturing on the manga cards, but significantly less than the SPs. But the chase is still there, the rarity is still there. But I digress. I think it's a beautiful card. $320 USD for PSA 10, I think is pretty okay, honestly. These cards, I think, are only going to do better over time, especially the English ones. So I think $320 is pretty solid. And you know what? Look at this pop count. Only 1,400 total pop count, so that's super interesting. And this was also from OP05. Let's not forget that. Moving on, for the Japanese collectors and investors out there, we have got the PSA 10 Parallel Storage Box Gold One Piece card of Nami, selling for $568. I can't remember. This is some kind of promo or some kind of collector thing. Never got it myself. I vaguely remember seeing it somewhere. But you know what? $568 USD, not too bad. I mean, you know, Nami is obviously one of the top waifus, and it's Japanese. So there you go. Not too bad, but let me know your thoughts in the comments there. So next up, I wanted to look at this card because at first glance, you'd be like, wow, $300 USD for this is not too bad at all. But guys, it's only the 3rd anniversary version of the Luffy card, the promo card. It's not the winner from the tournaments and stuff, but it's sold for $300 USD. Now, I obviously didn't participate in these tournaments, but they look like just regular little packs they give out, just kind of like the box toppers there. But it's crazy to see how this sold for $300. The stamp is not even like really stamped. Like it's stamped, but it's not like, you know what I mean? like texture stamped. But anyways, you know, crazy purchase, I guess. Hopefully that person didn't think they were buying the winter one. But anyways, let's move on. So funny enough, I was out this weekend and, you know, I was out with my brothers and, you know, their girlfriends and stuff. And they like sports and they were watching college basketball. And then I was just telling them about this One Piece card. And they were like, what? Like, what? Like, interesting, because they're not into One Piece. But they were like, it's interesting to see how One Piece is trying to get involved with sports. A lot of controversy behind this card. $489 USD for PSA 10. I mean, you know what? It's the cheaper end kind of One Piece card for sports. I wouldn't compare this to the Dodgers card or the soccer card, but in the same breath, you know, if you're a sports fan, if you like college basketball, I know college basketball is pretty huge, you know, I guess it was worth it. You know, wasn't there like a huge controversy behind this? Like somebody stole like thousands of these cards, you know. Card looks cool, I guess, but unfortunately it got a little bit of a bad rep behind it, so that's kind of what I'm implying. But you know what? $489 USD could be worse. Definitely could be worse. All right, next up we get another Japanese Soja King PSA 10 manga. Of course, the Japanese, because why not? We like to show some Japanese cards. Some of the Japanese manga cards are really starting to climb in price. $900 USD for this is actually pretty. It's getting up there. I think the Soja King alone, like raw, is roughly around $1,000 right now, maybe even a little less in the English. So to see this kind of creeping up there is interesting. But let's make no mistake, they're still hard to come by. It is a manga card, so let me know your thoughts on that. Also showing off another Japanese manga card here. We got the Zoro, but selling for $2,000. So just kind of wanted to emphasize my point here. Japanese manga cards are beginning to go up. So if you're a Japanese collector or investor and you've got some of these cards, it's definitely good news for you. But perhaps it tells us something for the future. All right, next up we got a PRB02 My Era Begins Blackbeard manga event card, guys. I love these cards so much. Not every manga card looks as cool as, say, this one. I really, really like Blackbeard as a character. He's definitely going to be one of the in-game villains. I think he gets a lot of flack. Nobody really understands or anticipates what's coming. If you're caught up to the manga, and I mean caught up, you know Blackbeard has a significant role in the story. And, you know, I like to put my money where my mouth is. I own this card. And by the way, I'm not showing these cards off to just, like, humble brag the whole video. It's more just kind of to show, like, I'm not just sat here on my computer just talking about One Piece cards and not actually having them. So I'm very heavily invested in the One Piece TCG. I'm a main English guy. I don't have too many Japanese, but I do think these manga event cards are super sick and are excellent for the collection, and they will no doubtedly go up over time. PRB02, also really low print run set. PRBs and EB sets are typically low print run, so a lot of the cards in there will, you know, they'll be rarer. So $379 USD, not too bad. And wow, look at the low pop count. Only 411 PSAs. Interesting. Next up, we get a Japanese Boa SP from the recent set OP15 right here. I just kind of wanted to show this one because it's $780 USD, which is super, which is kind of high if you ask me. Now, obviously, I know when you got a PSA 10, the price goes up. These are really, really nice looking cards. I'm seeing this bow actually start to come down now. People are trying to sell it for around $650, $700 raw for the English. So I suppose it's a decent buy, but I do think the prices are still going to come down for this one. Okay, we've got a Trafalgar Law from OP10. This is the manga from that set, and one of the cheaper mangas out there right now. There's two manga laws that exist. This is obviously the lower end one, but if you ask me, I think it's worth grabbing these when the prices continue to drop because they're manga cards. Why wouldn't you want a manga card? You know what I mean? Get what you can when it's cheap. I mean, it's also Law. Law is a top character for many people. You could argue the pose is not the best, but in the same breath, it's still Law, so might be worth considering. But yeah, selling for $1,100 or $1,200 USD, not too bad. Okay, we've got the Doflamingo SP from OP07. Really gorgeous card. I'm a big fan of this card. I recently purchased this mainly just for the look of it. I have these really cool acrylic frames, which, by the way, I order them from a guy who goes to Japan and buys them. I would really recommend some of the proxy sites that I've been sponsored by to check them out, like Rakufun or JP Fans. But they're really nice for the collection. If you want to display them on your case or on your shelves, these are definitely the cards you want. I'm really a big fan. I really am. And $240 USD for PSA 10 is honestly pretty okay. This card was about $150, I think, when I bought it. So, yeah, I think it's a good buy. All right, so next up we have got Sabo. Okay, so funny enough, Sabo is like, I put Sabo in the Blackbeard camp because he's he's underappreciated, he's misunderstood, he's gonna have a significant role in the story. He's Luffy's brother, okay? Sorry if that's a spoiler, but man, if that's a spoiler, you got a lot of episodes to watch, okay? This was the treasure cup, the store treasure cup from a little while back. I remember a lot of people were going as low as $200 Canadian selling this card because it's Sabo. You know, it's the character. People are not appreciating the character, but the treasure cup still stands. You know, it's still a pretty hard card to come by. But yeah, I mean, sold for $962 USD. What a jump, right? Finally, it's being appreciated and understood for what it really is. Speaking of Sabo, we've got the Sabo, the manga card from OP13, selling for $1,400 USD. Honestly, a really nice card. If you do love Sabo, I do think this is a good one. Also, again, on the cheaper end, but OP13, as you know, really significant set. There was a ton of mangas in that with the Ace and Luffy and the Redbacks and all that stuff. Pretty low pop count, too, for this guy. 743, but yeah, $1,400 USD for a PSA 10 manga. Not too bad. Wanted to show off this Japanese card. I actually was considering buying this off somebody raw last year. I didn't do it after. I really should have, but anyways, you know, this is a Treasure Cup Lin card, from 2023. Really awesome looking card. Honestly, Big Mom doesn't get enough attention. I mean, she's such a significant character in the story, and this only sold for $137 USD. You know, I think if you can't afford the English Treasure Cup cards, you should be going for the Japanese guys because they're so cheap, man. They're so cheap, and they're still Treasure Cup cards, guys. You know, they're still trophy cards, which people just don't seem to consider. So, want to take a look at that. Also, real quick, I just wanted to show this winner Who's Who promo card. Sold for $60 USD. It's only 106 in PSA population, but, like, I would totally buy this. This was only 60 bucks, and it's honestly kind of sick. I love it. I love this card. It's a really good card. It got winner on it, you know. It's a tournament card. Really nice. Really nice. Just wanted to show that there. Speaking of Treasure Cup cards, guys, we got the top 64 Tony Chopper selling for $3,200. It's a beautiful card. You got the stamp. You got the texturing. You got all of that glisten going on my camera right now. I was lucky enough to get this card for about $300 Canadian. Now it's a crap ton of money. You know, I got a couple other Treasure Cup cards there as well. More of the cheaper end ones, but the Ben Beckman one's pretty sick. That's top 16 right there. Beautiful. Treasure Cup cards, guys, are super textured. They're probably the most textured cards next to SPs, and the stamps there are really nice. And of course, you see the texturing on their names as well, which is really cool. Treasure Cup cards are awesome. I really love them. I don't have enough of them, if you ask me. But they are getting kind of expensive. But anyways, this sold for $3,200 USD P10. That's insane. We've also got some PSA 10s of SPs. Now these are really cool SPs. They're not the most popular ones, but I honestly think these are really sick. I only have the Zoro monochrome looking one, but if I could get my hands on some of these, I would. I mean, they're really cool looking. You know, the Qzon one's really nice as well. But yeah, $319 USD, not too bad. Next up, we've got the PRBO1 manga chopper selling for $3,800 USD. Pretty low pop count, 469. But hey, it's still a manga chopper card. I do think PRBO1 manga cards are never going to truly outbeat the originals. PRBO1 is already a really hard to come by set, and I think it kind of solidifies its price for fans and collectors and investors out there. So if you can get your hands on a PRB manga card, I think that's pretty okay. We're going to try and speed run through a few more here now, guys. So real quick, guys, I wanted to show off this card here. They had a box topper, came with 3 cards, and you had a chance to pull one of these Luffy's. Now, please educate me. It's being called something a little different here. The official event top prize in the Japanese, but I'm pretty sure it's still the same card. But I just kind of wanted to put these side by side because, you know, you can see, you know, the price difference, and it's kind of interesting. But $800 USD compared to $2,300 USD. Pretty high. You know, the strange thing about this card is it looks like a serialized card, but it's not. And it looks like a Treasure Cup card, but it's kind of like, it's this weird blend. But anyways, really cool card. $2,300, not too bad. Also, we got a Japanese redback Sabo selling for almost $4,000 USD, showing how significantly rare these cards are. Japanese or English, they're incredibly difficult to come by. That also includes the ace here selling for nearly $5,000 USD, so pretty insane. And we can see with the total pop count, 480, 489 for both of these. I don't know if that includes the English and Japanese, but either way, pretty low pop count. We've also got a serialized Chinese card. These are super interesting. If you like serialized cards, you know, there's a lot of interesting Chinese cards out there you can get. As you can see here, selling for $1,400 USD, which is fairly cheap for serialized. Next up, we've got the Boa SP from OP14. Now, what's interesting about this card is this was selling for $1,200 Canadian, which is about 900 USD, I think. So to see it sell for $755 USD and a PSA 10 is pretty good, if you ask me. Now, this is pretty cool. Somebody recently purchased the Gold Roger PSA 10 manga from OP09 for $20,000, guys. Insane. But you know what? What a flex to have this card, guys. We can see it's a pretty low pop count of 323 in total. If you ask me, there's probably only 1,000, maybe a couple thousand max of these cards in existence. Incredible grail. Incredible grail. We've also got another Nami from PRBO1 selling for 3,000 USD. And another one selling for 3,080 USD. I kind of wanted to show back to back because we're seeing a lot of Nami selling in this video. And this Yamato here selling for $287 USD was bid on. That's a great price, I think, for this card. Really beautiful card. And, you know, we also got a Luffy here, the OPO2, or sorry, we got the EBO2, Gear 2 Luffy selling for $8,000 USD, man. Absolute insanity. And ending it off on Ace here, we've got the English version, PSA 10 selling for $365. That's super solid. Congrats to all the people who won those bids. This card raw is like $600, so not too bad. But anyways, guys, there you have it. That is the One Piece Market Watch update. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do any of these cards look interesting to you? Let me know. A video should pop on the screen. Be sure to click it, and I will see you over there.